Hi everyone, welcome to this week's video. If you're new here, my name is Sarah and I make a video about once a week about beauty, skincare, makeup, a lot of videos around kind of trying to use what I have, so shop my stash, project pans, which we're doing today, and kind of just like being more thoughtful about our beauty and makeup consumption and buying habits. So today's video, like I said, is our project pan update for the month of May. So we're going to go through the 5 makeup items that I have been using and how many times I use them and the progress that we're making. And then we're going to go over the 5 eyeshadows that I've been using as part of my eyeshadow project pan and see if there's one that I hit pan on so we can roll it out and choose a new one, which is always exciting. Thank you so much for being here. If you've been following me or subscribed, thank you so much. I know I skipped last week. It's been a crazy time of year. Just a little bit like personal. I finished my master's degree like 2 weeks ago, so it was just kind of a lot going on last week. My husband is also a teacher, so it all just kind of coincided with like finishing that, wrapping things up, the school year ending, things were busy, and so I just didn't have time to get a video up that I wanted to get up last week. So thank you for tuning in this week, and let's get into the project pan update. Let's start with the Hourglass 6-pan palette. I have been focusing on the bronzer in here, and we are making some really great progress. It's hard to see on camera, but there is complete pan around like this edge, and there's just like a little bit left over here, but there's pan coming through. So really there's just kind of a tiny mound in the middle at this point. There, you can kind of see it better there. So I am really happy with that progress, and I definitely think I will finish this by the end of summer. Maybe not in June, but I think by July, because I also tend to wear a little bit more bronzer in the summer because I am bronzier in general. But I'm really happy with that progress. And it's always exciting to kind of start working my way through another face palette. This is the last face palette that I own, and while I do really enjoy it and think it is beautiful, it's just one of those things I've found that face palettes is just not something that I reach for on a daily basis. So while it's beautiful and it was expensive, I want to kind of use it up and maybe convince myself in the future that I don't need to buy a face palette with that many pans in it. Next is my face powder. I've been using the CoverGirl Clean Fresh powder. I feel like this never looks very different. I think I'm at the point where I'm definitely getting some hard pan in there, so I think I just need to maybe like scrape that top layer off, or some people have said like you can do like the tape to kind of get that top layer off. I don't know, and see if I make a little more progress, but some of it too, as I've said many times before, I just don't use a ton of it at a time. I do like a little tap tap, and I kind of do like my T-zone and a little bit under my eyes. So it's just, I'm just not going to be using a ton at a time, but I think there's still a difference. Hopefully when I put the comparison of a screenshot from last month up, the pan will look a little bigger. I don't know. It is kind of discouraging. It's one of those products where I'm using it every single day, so it feels like there should be more visible progress, but I don't know if there is. But I'm going to keep it in the project and work my way through it. It's the oldest powder in my collection, and I have a few more that I would love to get started on, so I kind of just want to keep focusing on this and using it up, getting my money's worth. And I do like the powder. It works well, and it's not like overly drying or anything, but it just seems like not making a lot of progress. But we're going to stay positive and stick to it. Next is my ColourPop highlighter in Lunch Money. This already had quite a bit of pan going when I rolled it in, but here's what we're looking like this month. And as you can see on this side, we're starting to get some like side pan. I kind of just started focusing on the area where it was the thinnest, and because I usually just use my finger and like kind of grab some like this and then tap it on. So that's kind of what I've been doing. So I think that's the plan going forward. I'll just kind of keep going around the edges and trying to make those thinner, but I definitely think that there's more progress on this and that it is possible to use this completely up by the end of the year. I think it's going to take me the whole year because even though that might not look like a lot of product, a little goes a long way for this highlighter, in my opinion, and I'm not trying to be like seen from space. Like that's just one swipe. So usually I can do like my nose and this with one swipe and then both my cheeks with another and then blend it out. So again, a little goes a long way, but I'm really happy to do that, and I will be excited to be able to say that I've used up a full highlighter. I don't think I've ever really done that before, so that would be very exciting. The last two items in my makeup project pan are my lip products, and the first is my lip liner. If you are a longtime viewer, this was in my project pan last year and I brought it back last month. It's my Makeup Forever lip liner in 3C. I don't think I marked where we started last time, but I believe I only sharpened this once, so we can just go from here. We're kind of in that in-between stage where I think it said Makeup Forever and then now Aqua Lip. So maybe by next time I can be at the A of Aqua Lip. My goal is to just use this until I literally can't sharpen it anymore. But I do really enjoy this lip liner, and you know, it was a more expensive one. It's definitely the oldest one in my collection, so I'm excited to have rolled it back in and finally just get this finished up, which I definitely think I can do in the coming months. And then I had also rolled in last month my Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lip in Primrose, and this is just going to be impossible to measure any progress until we get to the point where we can see it through the clear part of the container, because it's just a click up. And I've used up one of these before, so I know it will reach a point where the product will be in the clear spot and then we'll be able to see the movement. But until then, it's hard to tell, but I do think that the lip combo of these together is really nice. It's what I'm wearing today and what I've been wearing pretty much every day. It's just that nice neutral like touch of pink. So I do really enjoy these, and I like the Maracuja Juicy Lips. I know that the e.l.f. came out with some that are kind of similar, and I don't think they're quite an exact dupe because I think they do feel a little different. I think the Tarte ones are a little more tingly. So it just depends if that's what you like or not, but I do really enjoy these, and it is exciting to kind of be working on two lip products because that's a category that I always have a lot of stuff in. So it's good to kind of get used and roll things out. So that's the progress on the makeup items. So no empties or anything to change out there, but that's okay. Sometimes you just need kind of a progress month and not necessarily changing out a product month. But I'm happy with the progress that I'm making, and I don't know if I'll have an empty anytime soon in the next month or two, but I'm happy with where I'm at with those products. So let's switch to the 5 eyeshadows that I've been working on. So if you're new, I have all of my eyeshadows listed in a spreadsheet from all of my palettes, and I randomly roll on my Pretty Random app to pick 5 shadows that correspond with the spreadsheet, and then I have to use those 5 shadows in conjunction with each other until I hit pan on one of them, and then I roll it out. I did that because I just was feeling like I had quite a bit of eyeshadow but really no pans, and I wanted to change that and kind of get more use out of my eyeshadows and kind of focus on ones more and maybe be more creative or create different looks than just like my go-to stuff. So let's look at the eyeshadows. The first one we'll check in on is the Sahara Alter Ego palette. The shade I'm using in here is Slate, and it's this like darker gray down here. It's hard to see. I definitely think you can tell that there is some use going on, but I think this one is just going to take a while because I use a very light hand with this because I started in my crease kind of as that base, and it is a little smokier. So that is the first shade that we're checking in on, so you can kind of see it there. But it's a good base, and it kind of has helped create those like cooler looks. So yeah, so that is where we're at. I don't know if I'm going to hit pan on it anytime soon, but I'm happy to keep working on it. And it makes me kind of dip into my Sahara palette more in general. So that's always good. Next, I'll try and go in order of kind of how I've been wearing them. Next, we'll do my Natasha Denona Mini Sunset, and I've been using this shade on the end, Halo. And so this kind of became my overall lid shade last month after I kind of rolled out a shade that I had been using as an all over lid shade. So this kind of took that place. And I definitely think you can see use on there. There's a dip going. These shadows are super soft as well. They're kind of almost like a cream to powder feeling. So I definitely think that I could hit pan on this sooner rather than later. I've hit pan on other shades in Natasha Denona palettes pretty easily, so I definitely think this one is forthcoming quickly. And there it is there. Next is my ABH Sultry palette, and I have been using the shade Cyborg, which is crazy. This bright silver shiny shade, but you can see the use in there. I've been dipping into it pretty much every day, and that's what I've been putting kind of like on the center of my lid. And it kind of takes that color from the Natasha Denona, the Halo, and it kind of makes it a little more cool toned. So you can see there. So when they're layered on top of each other, it actually can be quite pretty and subtle. So it's kind of a way to be using this bright silver without it being like, I'm wearing metal on my eyes. So I just think it looks nice, and it's made me excited to get back into this palette. And that's a shade in the palette that I didn't really dip into a lot before because it is kind of intimidating. So I am happy with that. Oh, I haven't been saying how many times I've used all of these. I will just say up front, I have used all of the shadows 16 times in the month of May. So keep it simple. But yeah, so I'm excited for the progress on that. And then kind of as my inner corner highlight, I have been using the shade from the Alter Ego Coastal palette, this shade on the top row called Shore. This I feel like is so hard to see any progress, if any. It's a very tightly packed shade, and it's also very, very light. So it's kind of more like a shade topper almost, but if I get in there, I can kind of make it work as that inner corner, kind of bring some of that brightness to the inner corner. So you can see all those colors actually work really well together. But again, this one, it's so hard to see just because of the way it's kind of a swirly shade. It's hard to see use on there, but I've definitely been dipping in there quite a bit, the 16 times like the others. And then the last shade that I have been using as a liner is from the Sigma Warm Wishes palette. And I hit pan on this. It was this mulled wine shade. So it definitely, like the last one liner one that I hit pan on, it's definitely easier with that like pencil brush because I kind of just dip into the same area. So you kind of are just like digging a hole essentially. But I made it there, so this will be rolled out, which is exciting. And we will roll in a new one, which I did right before filming this video. And I rolled number 136 on my spreadsheet, which corresponded to my Profusion Mauves palette and the shade Kindly. This right up here. So that actually is very exciting. This is a great like crease shade, like lid setting shade. Put this kind of at the end, but it's still got that pink undertone. So yeah, I think that actually looks pretty good with the shades we already have. So that's exciting. We're still kind of sticking to the cool toned color palette, but I am okay with that. The only thing that worries me about this palette is the pans are huge. They're quite large. So like if you compare, like here's the Profusion Mauves and here's ABH Sultry. Like look at how big these pans are. So I am kind of worried about being able to hit pan on that, but again, if I kind of just focus in the same area, I think I will be able to hit pan eventually. And since it's such a versatile shade, like I said, I can use it as a crease shade. I can set my eyelid with it if I want before I even start a look. There's different uses I can use for it. This is also a palette where in the past I have also dipped into some of these as blushes and highlights, so I could totally use that as a blush as well. There's no rules against that in my project. So that's exciting. And this is a palette I have not used in quite a long time. So that is also what I love about doing this project, is it kind of makes me get back into a palette that I haven't used in a long time and remember why I keep it and love it so much. So I hope you enjoyed that update. It's always exciting to be able to bring in a new item with the new eyeshadow palette. I'm very excited about that. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed, and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you're updated of all of my upcoming videos. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.